It is actually a pretty interesting and a very good card. So let's just jump right into it. So this is Cyber Dragon Nachster. I assume that's how you pronounce it, considering the fact that this is a German name. I'm not sure if it's for 7, but it actually, no, it's not for 7, because 7 is Sieben. But anyway, Cyber Dragon Nachster is a light machine effect monster that's a level 1, 200 attack, and 200 defense, and you can only use the second and third effect of this card once per turn. So the first effect is this card becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field in the graveyard. That's standard. We already knew something like this. We already knew that's usually attached to most Cyber Dragon cards that have been revealed so far. So not really much to say there. The second effect is you could discard one other monster special summon this card from your hand. That's pretty good. The other level ones, I believe, do the other level one does this as well. Pharos also does this too, so it's pretty good on that end. And the third effect, I think this effect is actually pretty cool. The third effect is if this card is normal or special summon, you can target one machine monster with 2100 attack and or defense in your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except machine type monsters also special summon that monster. That's not very restrictive at all, simply because if you're playing this in Cyber Dragons at all, you're probably only going to be summoning machine type monsters anyway. I guess in some ways, in other decks that have a machine that's leveled that has 2100 attack, I guess it works out for them. It doesn't really work out too much for them, but I guess it really doesn't make that big of a difference. But this card is actually a little generic because you can play this in other decks. So what 2100 attack or 2100 defense monsters could you actually theoretically play in this deck? Well, first thing, if you're playing Scraps, you can play Scrapbreaker, and if it's special summoned, well, actually no, if it's not special, you can't actually activate the effect because it wasn't special summoned by its own effect, but you could summon it still. It's not bad, I guess. You just get a 2100 vanilla, but I mean, it's alright. You could play this, you could play Zubin's Chameleon, which if it's special summoned, you could just get a free Kinsella monster, which is pretty good. Big Core, or the Crystal Core, which actually is kind of one of the better BES monsters, so that's pretty good. Dynamis, you can summon the Ceratops, which Ceratops is their best Dynamis monster, so having this card in your control is pretty good. Pharos, as I said, this card can summon Pharos, so you can use this effect to fusion summon and then add a power bond. So that's pretty cool. On top of that, you can summon Seeger, Cybernova, or Cyber Dragon Infinity with this effect. And you can also summon Rampage Dragon, which is really good because this card is actually kind of nuts. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, he can attack again. So that's pretty nice. These are obviously really good. Cyber Dragon Infinity is insane. Grabbing Seeger isn't actually a bad option, simply because it has the arrow pointing to the left of him. So you just put this in the middle, and you can just play any other card in your main monster zones now. But the real kicker here is if you summon it properly, you can summon Mechaba, which means I think that if you're playing Cyber Dragons, you might want to lean towards an invoked build, which arguably some people were already doing. So if you play this card in that deck and you play Nachster, you can just easily just rebalance the game and just get Mechaba back into the main monster zone instead of being in the extra deck monster zone. And you can just play cards like Seeger and stuff like that to complement it. So it's very good. Also, you can play Excel Synchron for some Crystron Needle Fiber shenanigans if you ever want to do that. So it's a pretty good overall card. There aren't, like I said, there aren't very many targets for this. You could also summon Cyber Twin Dragon, which isn't bad, but it has to be fusion summoned. It could just make 2 attacks. Okay, so it doesn't have to be fusion summoned first. So it's not bad in that instance. I think this card could be this card could be played easily. I think whether you play 3 of it is debatable though, because sure, summoning Mechaba is good. How often are you going to be doing that? More chances than not, you're just going to be summoning Cyber Dragon or Pharos, or whatever other card you're summoning with it, like Infinity or Nova or Seeger. So I'm not entirely sure about that. So we'll see how this card works out. It's a very good card. 1-for-1ing this card out is definitely very, very strong. So yeah, you activate 1-for-1, and then you pitch like Cyber Dragon, or you pitch your Constellar, or whatever, and then you summon this card, and then you get to summon the Constellar back, or you get to summon the Cyber Dragon back, which is not good, which is not bad. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Tell me how many copies you applied this in your Cyber Dragon deck. This has been Nachster signing out.